Are you ready?
What do you want to do?
Well, I'd like to do my podcast right now. John Peckman podcast, that is. Beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Go through a bridge, go through one set of lights, pull a Yui, park in the street in front of the music. See, threw me off. I got my whole thing is thrown off now. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Have your own podcast here in our beautiful studio. Dave will tell you how at the end. I'm very excited today. We got him finally. I can't even believe this is happening. Hold on.
Stop
It's happening.
now. Come on now.
Doug LaChapelle, drummer, is here finally.
I am here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know.
Absolutely.
I know that but it's important that you're here.
I made you wait.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool.
That's what I deserve. But I am glad because for many reasons. Well, first of all, we're buddies, so that's nice.
Right.
At least I think we are.
You kind of, sort of.
I think.
We're late night buddids a lot of times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Not in a weird way.
No. Just phone. Yeah. Somehow or other it happened. And then, you've been around playing drums for a long time, which is cool. And then there is, which we'll get into. And then there's also, I want to take a little bit of time just because we can you were close friends with Joe Montanari.
Absolutely.
Up to the very end. So I want to.
37 years.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get some of that in so
Sure.
that we can pay our respects.
Absolutely.
So, but okay. When I was probably in junior high, my drum teacher, Vic, he gave me a record. It was the WHCN Homespun record.
Right.
And I would, listen to all those songs, look at the photos on the back and go, someday I'm going to be cool like these people. And I ended up over the years playing with a lot of them, didn't know it at the time.
Yep.
But Hothead Slater was one of the coolest things on there.
Excellent. Thank you.
And that was you.
That was me.
That was you. Yeah.
That particular picture of Hothead Slater was not the lineup that was on the song.
Oh, no.
Actually, it was Mark Malucci.
Are you in that? You're in that picture.
I'm in that picture, and I was the drummer on that. Okay. But Mark Malucci from Little Village played guitar on that. We were like
very jangly.
We were in between changes of musicians, I guess, and so we just had to throw something together. But Ricky had wrote the song. Ricky from Hothead Slater.
Okay, so he's like the main thing.
Yeah,
he's the main dude.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, when I first joined the band, Ricky and his older brother Peter, that was in '76, right out of high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were like 8 years older than me.
Oh wow.
So I grew up really fast. And it was debauchery.
Yeah, right.
But I was there for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Then I got an offer to go with Avalanche.
Right.
And never played a gig with them, but recorded and
rehearsed.
rehearsed.
They were also, that's one of the another one of the better tracks on that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third track that I was on that album was Doug Bartlett, which I recorded at Tapeworks with Doug Cupper.
Oh.
And Johnny Frizzell was on that.
Oh, wow.
Johnny Frizzell's hat, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
His wife left it to me.
Wow. Hey, that's
pretty cool. Yeah. Pivar was on that. Joe Greco was on that.
Wow.
Al Anderson was on that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We did like
that
4
Doug Bartlett
songs.
song?
Yeah.
Wow. I got to listen to that again.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
So that was, I think that was around 78.
Probably, right?
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Something
but
like that.
I had left Hothead Slater and went off with Avalanche for not too long, and that didn't pan out, and I was without a band for a bit, and I found John Wotus, great guitar player.
Okay.
And came back to Hothead Slater with him.
Oh.
And we reformed, and we found another guy, and it was that lineup that went out and really got big.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
not nationally big.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, regionally.
So the thing on the Homespun is not even the big.
No.
Wow.
I think it was.
That's cool.
I think it was Joe Greco on keys.
Oh,
and Mark Malucci and myself and Ricky.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because the thing that makes that song cool is that there's an electric piano.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's Joe?
I think it's Joe. It might have
funny.
been Joey Terrio,
Wow.
who was in the band for a
Crazy.
little while. The Terrio brothers. Do you know those guys?
No, I heard
Okay,
the
the
name.
South Windsor guys. Great family.
And you recorded that where? At Tape Works?
No,
The
that was
Slater
done at CRS.
Oh, wow. Down in Bridgeport?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
Trod Nossel Studios.
Oh,
right?
Trod.
Yeah.
In Wallingford.
Wallingford. That's
yeah,
where
my
it was
hometown.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice? I don't even know if you care. I try to show people this if I can get it together. But Fleetwood Mac.
They did a show
Okay.
down there, right?
So a lot of those early promo photos they took on that day of like Fleetwood Mac in the studio. But like I would always
Right.
see those pictures like in Cream magazine or whatever. And it took me years to realize, I'm like, that's Trod Nossel. I know those headphones. And I recognize that the gobo, the baffle.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. And then you put the math together and I go, they probably were just doing a media hit like they did the show. It was like a live in the, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. It was like right when
Well, it was a radio promotion.
it was a radio
I
thing.
believe,
So they
right.
probably were like, we're going to take photos.
Yeah.
They're lounging against like an old timey car.
And there was like 100 people.
Yeah, it
100
was like 100
spectators in there.
Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of those early Fleetwood Mac promo photos are at Trod Nossel in Wallingford.
Isn't that crazy?
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I had a cousin visit a young girl who's a big fan of Fleetwood Mac, and I showed her the picture, and I took her over there, and I said, that's that wall. You're kidding. And then Trod, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but Trod, they had an auction, and I said, I'm going to get the headphones for her.
Oh, yeah.
You
that
know,
was
I
just
said,
last year.
Yeah,
they
and I
had
said,
the
I
auction.
wonder if I can score a pair of those headphones for my cousin.
Wow, fantastic.
But then everybody found out, and they sold for $8,000. Something not really, but
Yeah,
like something
right,
crazy.
right.
But I thought, I'll just get those. No one will
Yeah.
know what they are.
Everybody
knew.
knew.
Yeah. So that was that. Anyway, where did you grow up?
I grew up in, born in Hartford.
Okay.
I always say Rockville, but it was really Vernon that
sure.
that my parents
Yep.
bought a house.
Patty Martin's. Remember Patty Martin's in Vernon? I used to play
Yeah,
there.
you
Yeah,
did.
Yeah, back in the day. Anyway.
So funny thing about Vernon, there was a really crappy little bar in the center of Vernon on the way up to Rockville called the Stagecoach. And when I was in high school, I had a band with some older guys from South Windsor called Antares.
Okay.
That was the name of the band. And we played at the Stagecoach every weekend for like a month
Oh, wow.
until it finally got shut down for underage.
Oh, boy.
Right? And it was my whole high school.
Right.
that was in
They were
there.
all going. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, that was the early part of my playing out in bars career.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then '76, I got kicked out of high school with a credit and a quarter from my guidance counselor, and I graduated
Oh,
with
okay.
help
Okay.
from
okay.
Mr. Buttafuoco. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Oh, hey.
And then that's when I joined Hot Head Slater.
Wow.
At 18.
Wow. So you were like, this is it. This is the life for me.
It was pretty crazy.
I bet.
I moved out of my house, my parents' house, and moved right into the band house.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of big time.
it was.
Wow.
It was.
Where was the house?
In Vernon on Dobson Road, 69 Dobson Road.
That's funny. The house still there?
No, but there's still a corner of a Marshall stack sticking up out of the ground.
Really?
Yeah. There was anyway.
That's so
a
funny.
number of years ago. But yeah, I'm glad they demolished the house.
Yeah. The Slater house.
4 guys lived there for $350 rent.
Can you imagine?
No,
Yeah.
hard to believe.
Yeah. So you could do that.
You can get a hotel room for
Yeah.
$350 now
Wow. Yeah, right. For one night.
for one night.
So there you are.
Yeah.
You're like, this is it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet.
It really was.
And drinking age was like, it was 18.
18.
Right?
So I'll touch on that for a second. Hot Head Slater had a grand idea to go out and play
Right.
all high schools and colleges, especially the high schools. We tried to do every high school.
So like an assembly, like in the middle of the day? Or?
No, a dance.
Oh, okay.
A Friday night dance.
I got you.
And then we figured every senior class is going to be graduating.
Hell yeah.
They're all going to be out
They're
in the
going to
bars.
remember, though. That's that band that played
That's
at
the
our
band, so
thing.
let's go see them. Drinking age went up to 21. Foiled. So we that's when we kind of hit the road and just started traveling all around New England.
Gotcha.
Which leads me, I have to say hi to Tony Jones from New England Music Outlet.
Okay.
Musicians Outlet. That whole thing is pretty cool because none of our bands in that circuit, we didn't know each other back then, but we all knew of each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he put that whole thing together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we share stories that, oh, that was you that stayed there before us? Oh,
wow.
okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds wild. Yeah, I wasn't on the scene yet.
Right.
My thing was like, by the time I got on the scene, everyone was already saying, "Oh man, you should have been here when." Like I got there right when it was over. Everything was kind of over, but
yeah, Shabu was real big.
Right. I never was there. I was never there.
Yeah. It was an awesome place.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on got on some Shabu Facebook group and looked at all the photos. It's wild to even think. Yeah.
Oh,
mind blowing.
The list of people who played there for cheap.
Yeah, right.
You could see B.B. King there for $6.
That's crazy.
Right, Muddy Waters.
Yeah, that's
James Montgomery there all
believe.
the time.
Yeah,
and it goes on and on.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So why? Although maybe in the grand scheme of things, I guess everybody badmouths where they're from, but like we have this feeling that like, oh, it's Connecticut, but I mean,
there was a great scene.
Right?
There really was. We used to play Wednesday through Sunday, pretty much every week.
Right.
And there'd be a line out the door.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of clubs, and they all had a line out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, David's in Manchester was just insane.
Yeah, I guess there was nothing.
The Agora, which used to be the Stage West.
Yeah.
And I actually worked a lot of shows there as a stagehand.
Okay.
When I wasn't working on a weekend.
Wow.
For some reason, I worked for Tom Waits, the Ramones, Blondie.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's wild. Was that after the Shabu? Is that what happened, or are they at the same time?
No, they were at the same time.
Wow.
Stage West and the Shabu were open at the same time, but then it changed to the Agora.
Okay.
But we opened for Alvin Lee there. We opened for Todd Rundgren there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody's coming through Connecticut.
Yeah. Oh,
back
yeah.
then. Wow. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, well, the scene was completely different than it is nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not the way it was.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, it was never any good for me. It just wasn't. I mean, I managed. Right. I caught the tail end. Like I rode the wave with A to the Bar. Like they were still kind of.
Oh, sure.
Like I rode that wave for a while, but that's all I would hear about is the way it used to be.
Right. Right.
And for me, it never was.
They're still playing now.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
I think 50 years, 40 years.
Something crazy. Actually, you know, it's funny. I was talking to me and Mark Couture were talking the other day. He's hilarious. Like I'll call him.
Yeah, I know him well.
I'll call him 8 times and he'll answer the phone once. Not like you that you answer, and like he'll answer and we just get into it. And we came up with the we were talking about A to the Bar, and he goes, "Why is it that because he said the same thing? He goes, they're still playing." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I wonder what the key to her Cynthia."
Yeah.
Because I wonder what the key to her longevity is. Like, how did she keep it together that long?
Right.
And we went back and forth, and I thought about it. And I said, I don't know what it's like now, but I said, what I think a big part of it is that she had a road crew all the time. Even when I was in it, they never did it. And I said, I think that if you have to bust your ass, I mean, the gig is what it is. I mean, you either like it or you don't, or you get burnt out. But the volume of work was so much, it was so crazy. The only way you could do it was with a road crew.
Well, I was talking to Dave earlier before I came into the studio part here, and I told him from 76 to like 88, 89, I had full-time road crew.
Right.
I didn't need one back then. I was young and strong.
Right.
And it flip-flopped on me because then next thing you know, for the last 20 years, I've been carrying my own stuff. And now I'm done carrying stuff.
Yeah, I know.
It really stinks.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it's turned into an 8-hour day for $100.
Right. Well, yeah, right. But back then, $100 was a lot of money. Plus, you weren't moving your own gear, so it was.
I wasn't moving my own
Plus,
gear.
you had 6 of those a week at the time when.
the whole band was on salary.
Yeah, right.
The road crew was on salary.
Yeah.
We had expense accounts at the music stores.
Wow.
I'd walk into Creative and sign my name.
Whoa. Hey, that's
For sticks, heads, and little breakable parts.
Sure.
I fought tooth and nail for cymbals, but
Yeah.
that didn't work out.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
And speaking of that, Creative was just a fantastic place, and I started going there when I was 16.
Wow.
And met Bob Gatson.
Yeah, right.
And we just had that big event a few weeks ago now.
Yep.
Fantastic that we were able to pay for our expenses and make some money to donate for Alzheimer's.
Beautiful.
That was a mecca.
Yeah.
It really just
it
was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was lucky enough. At least for me, it was still swinging.
Right.
And it was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the whole, we already talked about, but the whole thing of like, then you would go to the record store. It was it was like a field trip.
Right.
Yeah. That's the way it used to feel.
Yeah, there's nothing like that anymore.
Yeah.
There's no place to hang.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some people hang at Guitar Center or something. I don't know.
I guess, but not like it used to be.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we formed a lot of brothers at that place.
Yeah.
That we still see each other,
Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, at least things last. That in the end.
Right.
That's what's important, I guess. They say.
Yeah.
The kids are hanging out somewhere. We just don't know because we're not kids.
Probably. Yeah, they don't want us there.
Right. That's fine. That's fine. So not playing much at the moment. No.
No, just right when COVID hit, I had a really good 5-piece rock and soul band going called Say Yeah, with Tommy Sitaro on bass and really selective song list. We do really well at Black Eyed Sally's.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, but then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And
just too much work to keep it all together.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Working with Savino, I saw towards the end.
No, we go way back.
Do you really?
Yeah, we were in a band together called the Jack Officers, and
funny,
which came out of Daddy Longlegs.
Oh, okay.
So Daddy Longlegs was myself, Jimmy Bell, Steve Montano.
Oh yeah.
And Mark Franco at the very beginning, rest his soul. But Pat Bresnahan took over on that.
Okay.
And then when Jimmy went off to something else, then I started the Jack Officers with Savino. Wow. He's a phenomenal player.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal, and quite the character, as you know.
Oh yeah, no, he's a total.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about you and him.
They're all true. Yeah, all of them. And they're probably worse than.
I just ran into him in New Orleans. Last month. Yeah,
oh, that's cool.
He was down there for Jazz Fest. I go down occasionally to visit a friend of mine, Mark Barrett, who's a Bourbon Street player. He's been down there 17 years.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah.
So it can be.
I couldn't live in that city. I'll tell you that. No.
How come?
It's just.
I haven't been there in years.
It's gotten a little different.
Really?
Yeah, you used to be able to go down Bourbon Street and hear the bands that were in the places.
Yeah.
It's not like that now because pickup trucks come in with PA systems and they're having torque contests on the street.
Oh.
I guess Frenchman Street's a lot more like the old days.
Okay.
But
yeah, I don't know. I only went twice, and I remember. It ended up working out, but I was like, oh man, I finally made it. I'm gonna hear some real New Orleans. This is great. I'm gonna get the thing.
Right.
And I walked up and down Bourbon Street the first night I was there, and all I heard was Mustang Sally, Mustang Sally.
Oh.
And I just was like, oh man. But then, so I went with with Sweeter Than Wine. I went with the girls, right?
Right.
And there was a band that played. They were passing the hat right on Jackson Square. That were the real deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I asked them,
like a live horn band.
Yeah. It was
right.
like,
with a snare drum
drummer
player.
would double park and and they would hit for like a half an hour and boom.
Yeah.
And they were great. And I was like, this is what I want to hear.
Exactly.
So, we were there for 5 days or whatever. So I started talking to that drummer. And of course, he's like, yeah, I'm a fourth generation New Orleans drummer. Like, he was doing all the thing. And then he told me where to go. He was like, I don't remember where we went. This was like 1994 or whatever.
Yeah.
But they hipped us. And then it was like, okay, this is what I want. But Bourbon Street was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun. But,
Sure.
But I just was like, I don't want to hear Mustang Sally. I already know
Come
that
on.
song.
I don't even think you don't even know how to play that song.
No, I don't. Well, actually, that was God bless him. I got to hand it to Pitchell. Yeah, we always have to play that song. Always in every band. I don't know if it's probably
It's the
still not like
Connecticut
that.
State
It's a Connecticut
National Anthem.
And
Exactly.
Cynthia actually used to say that. Now we're going to play the Connecticut State National Anthem, and and we would play it too fast, and it was a drag, and we would get bored and turn it into a funk jam.
Oh.
And I remember I just happened to catch him at a moment when I joined Pitchell in the beginning, and we were playing Mustang Sally I Go. Because if you listen to the original Wilson Pickett, it's great. And I just said, can we actually play it like the record just for once?
Yeah, there's that upbeat.
Yeah, and he's like,
snare.
okay. And
Yeah.
we actually we tried to play it like it actually went, and it was cool.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I've played it with Ramon before, reggae style.
right. Because we just get so bored. But sometimes you got to go back because you forget, like, when's the last time I even listened to the actual original?
Right.
Because you just play it
Yeah.
without thinking.
Yeah.
So props to Pitchell. At least he was like, all right. And I just say, it's got to be doom, shock. You got to, instead of just
Right.
jamming it out.
Right.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, we've both played for Pitchell. We've both played
Yeah.
for Bert.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And we've both played in that Ramon Corvo circle.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool brotherhood there.
Yeah.
Too,
I just had dinner with Eddie on Tuesday.
I almost called him today, and then I said, nah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I wanted to come down early and
Yeah.
grab a bite to eat.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, because when this is Thursday for the record. I usually do the show on Tuesday, and when that happens, sometimes I'll just call. It happens every couple of months. I'll
Sure.
just call Eddie, meet me for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how that happens. So,
Right.
Anyway, so why drums? How did it all start? Is your family musical? All that
My
stuff.
dad was not musical. Nobody in my family was musical except for a kind of distant uncle who I just found out last week played with a guy named Graham Nicholson, who's owned the Cadillac Ranch for years.
Oh.
My uncle Bobby was Graham's drummer,
Oh wow.
which I never knew. But my dad used to bring me to these little jazz clubs and watch Uncle Bobby.
Oh wow.
And he had like polio, and he'd set up sideways so you couldn't see.
Yeah.
He could still move his wrist.
Yeah.
But so I started very, very young. And then check this. This is a pretty cool story. I was like 6 or 7 years old. I was down Soundview Beach with my Meme and Pepe. And the El Morocco was the club on Connecticut Avenue, right down there in Soundview Beach.
Okay.
And Willie Pep was the bouncer.
Okay.
Willie Pep was a famous boxer
Oh,
from,
okay.
from
All right.
Hartford. My Pepe was good buddies with him.
Gotcha.
And he wouldn't let my Pepe into the club that night because he had a little kid with him.
Oh.
That was me.
Yeah.
So Pepe held me up in the window.
Nice.
Jerry Lee Lewis was playing in there.
Whoa.
Because it was that type of roadhouse.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking in, and it was like really rowdy
Wow.
and red light.
Yeah.
So fast forward to like 1982, 83, Jerry Lee Lewis had played at the Agora in Hartford on a Thursday. We were there on a Friday. He showed up in our dressing room on Friday.
Whoa.
And we got him to come up and play. So when
Whoa.
we went out to the stage for the second set, Ricky walked up to the microphone and said, we have a very famous guy that wants to come up and play some songs with us. And Jerry Lee Lewis went up there and he said, I didn't say I wanted to play with you. Y'all said you wanted to play with me. And he went through a medley of his greatest hits without any. He didn't tell anybody what key we were in. He would just go.
Of course not. Yeah, and you got to figure it out.
And yeah, it was crazy
Wow.
though, right?
Yeah. That's wild.
No pictures, no cell phones back then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So many times I can look back at old gigs and say, there's no pictures.
Yeah.
Somebody has them somewhere.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the phone pictures.
But they never got them
nowadays-
developed. They didn't go to the
Yeah,
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I know. I had this. It's crazy. We opened 8 to the Bar. This is in the 90s. 8 to the Bar opened for Ray Charles at the Oakdale.
Nice.
Okay, this was big time.
Yeah.
This was like, and I'm a huge Ray Charles fan. I always have been. And my dad was so as a kid. So this was like not just I'm a big shot, but like this is amazing.
Yeah.
And
And how old are you?
20. No, I mean, it's probably 91, 92.
Oh, okay.
So, I was in my 20s.
Yep.
And, of course, playing those opening slots, they don't really pay anything, but it's good for the juice. And Cynthia being Cynthia, like, we opened for Ray Charles and then had to haul ass to get to Providence to play an actual gig. So we didn't even get to see him, at all. So I was disappointed, but everybody I knew was there, and there I am on the big thing, on the revolving stage.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything about the gig, but I remember I said, I'm going to, because we had a road crew, I said, I'm going to stay as late as possible, and I'm going to at least see the first couple of tunes. I want to see Ray Charles.
Right.
So I'm backstage. My parents were out in the audience, and I was in the little backstage area, and I'm hanging out, and all of a sudden Ray Charles just walks in to the room with a handler, and they're like, get the chair. And he sits down right in front of me, like he's right there. And I'm like, I don't want to bother you, but I'm a big fan, do the band's playing like the first couple of tunes, and he's getting ready to, they play a few tunes.
Right. Yeah.
And
warm up the stage.
Right. And I stupidly, and I think back of how nice he was. I said, Mr. Charles, I would love to have an autograph. I know. And he goes, well, son, I don't write, but I would love to pose for a picture if you have a camera. And I was like, okay, hold on. And he's like, okay. And I ran out into the audience, found my dad, dragged him in, and it was so funny. It was like something out of he goes, okay, son, get down here. And I crouched down next to him. He put his hand on my knee. My dad took one picture, just like click, and goes, I don't know if I got it. And Ray goes, well, excuse me, son, I got to go to work. And he stands up, walks past me, and walks out into the aisle. The spotlight hits him. And I'm like, I can't believe that just happened. And he was totally cool. Because I'm sure it could go either way.
Sure.
But he's totally cool. Anyway, my point is, I was like on cloud nine. I'm like, oh, I got to get to Providence. Get to the gig. I tell the band, I'm like, I met him. And they're like, yeah, sure. No one believed me. And this is the old days. It took me a week to go to Walgreens to get the
Right.
And I get, there's a picture of whatever. And then there's perfect.
Nice.
Me and Ray Charles. One picture. Boom.
That's fantastic.
And I'm like, here it is.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, no one would have believed it. And I got it. And if my dad wasn't there, I just got one shot at it. And it was boom. Just
fantastic. You still have the picture.
Oh, yeah. It's framed. I've had it forever. I had dreadlocks. Like my hair was all
I remember.
So, like, look, I'm like, oh, yeah. I remember that. Anyway.
It was a look. You had a look going on.
I did. But yeah, luckily I had a picture. And if you had a picture of you with Jerry Lee Lewis, you would frame it too.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
I immediately framed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So funny. Wow. Yeah, that's heavy. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Sure.
Yeah. The originators.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think there's any left. Who's left? Like you know what I mean? Like the original ingredients, like the real thing.
Yeah, Little Richard's gone. All those guys are gone.
Yeah. I saw Little Richard a couple of times, and it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like there's nothing like it.
My the manager from Hothead Slater, Peter Lawrence Fritsch, used to do some promotions. Yeah. He'd throw some concerts out at South Windsor Ice Palace.
Yeah, sure.
And he hired he had Ike and Tina Turner there.
Yeah.
And so of course she had her Tina Etz or
whatever.
So she was wearing red pantyhose during the performance, and all the other girls, they had black pantyhose. So cleanup time, Peter found the red pantyhose.
Oh.
So we had them hanging in the hanging in the rehearsal studio.
Yeah.
Tina's hose. With
yeah. That's amazing. That's killer.
Yeah. I have a lot of phenomenal stories from the years with that band.
Go ahead.
But after that, no, I want to jump ahead.
Yeah.
There's too many to tell.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to come back.
I could do that.
Okay.
When, tomorrow?
No. Hey,
No, but I was fortunate enough to play with Bert Teague for 19 years too, and I was pretty much just a rock drummer when I joined Bert's band. But he kind of looked at me like, you got something, and you're coming with me. And I didn't do any of his jams, but I was his drummer for all those years, and he taught me a lot. Actually, he probably taught me more than anybody ever did.
Wow.
In his own special, unique way. Like,
sure.
Like, you're gonna play that, and it's do or die.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Yeah, he just boom, just
And he
starts.
he got me into that whole Little Feat stuff, the Richie Hayward, and touching with jazz, because we do some weddings and we do that little cocktail hour set. I had never played all those sambas and stuff, but I kind of did early in drum lessons.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
but
I took from a little old German guy up in Rockville, and I remember half the lesson was playing to Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass.
Yeah.
That one album there, I had to learn every song on that. So it was all different styles.
Yeah,
and that's what Bert did. He would take it from one style to the next to the next. Yeah, I did 5 years with Jimmy Bell, and then went right to Bert Teague. So yeah, from one extreme to the other, right there.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Jimmy's been here.
I know.
Yeah,
I saw him.
Really funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I had the same experience. I played with Bert with Tom Stankus,
right,
and that was how I got out of the basement. And we had some decent guitar players, but I just Bert. It was so brand new. It was just like, you know, I don't know where T-Bone knew him, but it was just, I showed up one day and there was this dude Bert.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, okay, this is a whole other thing.
It really was a whole different thing.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, he would just tear the roof off.
When he was on fire, he was untouchable.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yep. Yeah, and I was telling you, I have a recording. I'll have to figure out how to get it to you because it's.
Oh, you told me about it.
I mean, I don't know. Bert might have had primes before this and primes after it, but to me, this is like, you know, it's like a rock and roll band, but we're playing like a Delbert McClinton country-ish tune and a Bruce Springsteen tune and a this tune, and Bert's just walking all over everything, just killing it. Just like whatever it is, I already got it.
The first gig he ever took me on, except for you know, little sit-ins here and there with his band, was a country gig, and I said, I don't play country.
Yeah,
he
you
goes,
do.
I'll give you $150.
You said, hey, y'all.
I showed up with a piece of gum in my mouth and played some country, and it was easy.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
You know. But we had Rob Freed with us a lot when we played, and Bert's band went through a ton of different changes. When I first joined him, it was just him, a girl lead singer, Tom Petrie on bass. You know Tom.
Sure.
And so basically a 3-piece band with a girl singer.
Wow.
And then it evolved into Tim McDonald and Bert Teague.
Sure.
And then Ramon did a bunch of years
with
us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Were you there when Aaron Roby was the singer for a while?
I was.
Yeah.
I was. And then red hair, her name escapes me. I love
Ann?
Her. Ann Donahue.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was it. Yeah. I liked when she stood in front of me.
Yeah.
I loved her hair.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, Ann, me and Ann
she
were
was
really close.
Yeah, you guys were tight.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
that. Yep.
Yeah, we're on the road together. Yeah, that was in the thick of it. And Aaron too. I mean, we had a good time.
Yeah. We didn't play with Aaron all that long.
Okay.
She ended up getting married. We played her wedding.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
and
right.
I think it was not long after that she was done.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she was cool. But Ann was something else.
Super.
Yeah.
She did the Michael Jackson stuff really good.
Oh yeah. Well, Ann, she could do anything.
Yeah. She's in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Shout out.
Yeah.
You know, I have to tell her we were talking about her.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's funny. So yeah, I guess that kind of, so you're learning to play, and then Slater kind of threw, you say that was kind of the first real thing.
Absolutely.
You know, they got you out of the basement, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Well, no, I mean, I played some small gigs with high school bands.
But that was
with older guys, too, from a different town.
Yeah.
It was always with older guys.
Sure.
I was always the kid.
It's the best way to do it. Yeah, but that's all right, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But the whole creative thing, that was awesome. And then we spoke briefly on Joe. And I'll say, rest in peace, my brother. 37 years ago, that's when I met Joe, and I had a steady Monday night gig with Bert and Donna Martin.
Oh yeah.
At the Tiger.
Okay. Yeah.
And Joe used to bring me a different snare drum every Monday night, and he'd just sit out there and listen, you know. But we had a great night there. One night I noticed we were just about finishing the first set, and I look up at the door, and in comes Jeff Healey.
Oh, that's right.
He had played with he had played at the University of Hartford, I believe, or Trinity the night before, and he was held over, and he asked somebody, where can I hear some blues? So I went right over to him, and I said, Jeff, if we could get you up to play. And he says, I'll tell you what, he says, when you go back up after your break, he says, keep an eye on me in your first song. If I put my hand up, I'll come up and play.
If I put one finger,
because he really didn't hear too much at the very end of the first song.
Right.
And we were just going on break.
So he doesn't know if you guys are clowns or what.
Exactly. So, like by the first chorus, he was like, and him and Bert ripped each other.
Wow.
And Donna Martin was there playing a Strat.
Okay.
And a twin.
Oh, wow.
Or a Fender amp.
Yeah.
And she gladly just said, here you go.
Yeah, yeah.
And he got up and he sat down and he put the guitar in his lap and he just turned around to the amp and he went like this.
Yeah, right. Everything.
Everything up, and the guitar just exploded and he put his hands on it.
Wow.
And said, let's go.
Wow.
It was like, and he played the rest of the night with us.
Wow. That's so cool.
It was really, and there was no cell phones back then.
Yeah, right.
Right? There was a
I
pay
see
phone
those
on the
pictures
wall.
though. I've seen the pictures of him there though.
Yeah,
That must have been that night.
Yeah,
on the
well,
wall
there was
at the
there
Tiger.
was a pay phone on the wall, and people immediately went to the pay phone. Kathy Roach was a bartender, and she started calling people.
Wow.
Within 15 minutes, there was 75 people in there.
Wow, that's so
Packed.
crazy.
The old Tiger.
Yeah.
know,
it was just there.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool. Who was on bass?
A guy named Ray Rich was on bass. He was in Bert's country band.
Okay.
So.
And he was great.
Absolutely.
Jeff Healey.
He looked exactly like Rocco from Tower of Power. People used to think he was Rocco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. When would that have been?
35 years ago.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
When did he die?
36 years ago. Who?
Jeff Healey.
Jeff Healey? Not long after. I think about 2.5 years after.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
He wasn't around that
He had
long.
cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what a player.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I remember that.
And a couple times
That whole thing.
Bert would like start a ripping solo and Jeff would be like, whoa.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
Bert
mutual
not
respect
afraid.
and like, oh yeah, watch this.
Why not? You got to represent.
It was a cutting session.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Killer. Yeah. So, Joe, what do you want to say about Joe?
Well, Joe and I, we had an up and down relationship, but it always.
I didn't know him that well, so you can say anything.
No, I understand. He was really brilliant. He took on a lot of work.
Yeah.
He probably could have been bigger than he really was, but he was kind of like the first custom drum maker.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Yeah, sure.
He really
Sure.
was. I mean, now there's tons of them.
Yeah.
There really is. And,
Yeah, he's the first that I knew of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knew a lot of cats out in California because he lived out there, and he used to go around to studios, and he'd get hired to go in and get drum sounds.
Oh, okay.
For Richie Hayward.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, the list goes on and on. But he ended up coming back here, having 2 kids, and now a granddaughter.
Okay.
Well, kind of an up and down relationship.
I wonder how it ever started with him that he just said, I'm going to make drums now. Like, I'm just going to start from, instead of trying to get a sound.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know how it started.
Yeah. Just weird.
But he made some wicked drums. I have 7 of them, I think.
Wow.
All different sizes and shapes and colors. And
Crazy.
yeah, very
What
crazy.
would you, if you could, I never had a big experience with them. What makes them distinguished?
He used really, really good parts.
Okay.
Like all his lugs were brass or coated with chrome. And he showed me one day, he picked up a lug and he threw it on the cement floor and it went tsk. Then he'd pick up one of his lugs and threw it on the floor and it went ping.
Oh.
So there was resonance to his parts.
I see. So he was on to
Like
something.
pretty much ask any drummer around the area.
Yeah.
John Powell's a huge fan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just didn't, I never played them enough to know what made them, what was the characteristic of them.
Well, they
Just
all
quality.
really, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they all had different characteristics.
Yeah, yeah.
I brought a bell brass one to Prairie Prince one night up in Boston, and to try to sell to him at a gig, and he didn't buy the drum, but he played it all night, and he signed the head.
Yeah,
and I'm
cool.
like, well, buy the freaking drum.
Yeah.
But most of those guys, they're signed.
Yeah, right.
So they can't play their own.
Yeah, that's
they can't
gotta be
play their
tough.
own personal
that's gotta be
things
tough.
on stage.
Well, I guess that's understandable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So trying to get a Montanari what's the word?
Sponsorship.
Sponsorship,
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he was something
Endorsement,
else.
that's the word.
Endorsement, you're right. He was really something else, and I helped him at the beginning of COVID. That's when Bob Gadsden started going down really bad, and his brother hired Joe to catalog all his estate of everything that was in his house, and we went over there, and they had moved everything from the basement in his recording studio into a double garage, and when the garage doors opened up, our jaws hit the ground because there was like over 250 snare drums. You know, some were one-offs, some were
crazy.
Yeah, but we got rid of like almost all of it.
Really?
Yeah,
people bought them.
It took a couple of years, if not longer.
Yeah,
but he I think Joe got hired because he had connections to buyers.
Right,
guys were coming in.
So you just somehow got hold of all the buyers and said, "Yo, it's all here."
Yeah. Wow. And he wasn't real agile at that point, Joe. I'm talking about, and so I kind of helped with lugging drums, which I just love lugging drums.
Yeah, but you do it.
No,
for
it was
a friend.
a labor of love, and it brought us back closer together again.
Yeah.
And he was doing a favor, and I was doing him a favor. So,
Right.
So
that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. Absolutely.
Yep. I hear you.
So, and then we just had that event for Bob Gadsden.
Yeah.
John McElhoney, Jeff Brown, and myself.
Yeah.
Got together and came up with that idea.
It's
and
killer.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of people showed, and that hadn't seen each other.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I had a moment where I think I got it on my phone where I was like, there was the moment when everyone was there, and it was like everywhere I looked was somebody I loved that I want to talk to right now. You know, you just like look around. You're like, there's Doug, there's Deb Piccolo, there's Matt, there's Dave Zerio. There. It was like, this is too much. This is too much.
And how about Tommy Dest's performance that night?
Yep.
We got the whole.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And
I had him on a couple of weeks ago.
I heard.
It was
I
great.
haven't seen it yet.
It was great.
But the way he got the whole crowd involved was really awesome.
Killer.
Really, really fantastic job.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of
He
fun.
wouldn't move it. He wouldn't move the equipment though.
Oh, really?
No, John had to set up his.
Really? I didn't know that. I don't know anything about that.
It's okay.
Really?
He blew it out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
He really did. It was phenomenal. We were so happy.
Yep.
Very, very happy.
Yeah. No, that was killer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we should are they going to do anything for Joe, or is it just low key?
I think it's kind of low key.
Yeah. It's a little
really
different. Just because I'm just saying, because creative, it was a physical place, a hub, that why it was easier to kind of get everyone to focus.
We all had a nice time together at the little after luncheon at after Joe's funeral or service, I should say, which was kind of cool too, because people just kept passing the mic and saying words.
Okay. Yeah.
And John McElhoney did a great job with the eulogy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So that was that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I love the fact that we still do these drum hangs. We get together. We had 9 guys over there Monday night on my birthday.
Killer. Hey, that's right. Hey,
that's right.
Happy birthday. Yeah. Yeah.
42.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. Wow. You're 15 years younger than me. That's amazing. How'd you? Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. No plans to play. Don't really care. Like whatever.
You know what? I'm starting to look at it like I've been out my whole life.
Yeah, sure. I am
really
kind of the same way.
I really have, and I have a beautiful home with a great girl.
Yeah.
And hi, Francis.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do.
Yeah. That's all right.
I'm kind of tired of moving stuff around.
I know what you mean.
And my hands are sore.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I was telling Dave earlier that I do miss the playing part.
Yeah.
Because I played it down in on Bourbon Street.
A
few weeks ago, and I didn't have to move anything.
Yeah, right.
But it hurt. After like 6 songs, I was hurting.
Yeah.
So I can do other things.
Yeah, that's all right.
I can still hang with drummers, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny is like we had a condo and everything. I haven't had drums in my vicinity, in my house, since I was a kid, since I was living in my parents' house, right? And I had a rehearsal spot for a few years or whatever. But since we moved into our house like 3 years ago, like I have a kit at the house, and it's amazing. It's like, you know, I'll wake up someday and go, I think I'm just going to go downstairs and just play for half an hour while I'm thinking of what I'm going to do today. And I'm like, I haven't done this since I was a kid. Yeah. And it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I just go, all right, that's cool. I don't have to move the gear. I didn't have to,
Right.
Just do a little bit of playing, work on something or think about something. I'll just play while I'm thinking. You know, just go, let me just do something while I'm trying to figure out what do I have to do today, when do I have to be there, or whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It is kind of cool.
Awesome.
But I never had that for the longest time. It's kind of
I think it'd be kind of neat to have an electronic kit.
Yeah.
Set up in a spare room.
Yeah.
Somewhere, but
I have to tell I had to tell the neighbors. I met a new neighbor. The tree fell on my fence, and I had to meet a new neighbor.
Gotcha.
And she was totally cool, but she goes, "Are you the drummer?" Because sometimes I hear drums, and I was like, "Yeah, sorry." I go, "I'll give you my number. If it ever bothers you, just tell me, because I'm not it." She's like, "No, it's fine. I just couldn't figure out where it was coming from."
Right.
That would be me.
My dad used to have a funny thing that he'd say is, if you don't like your neighbors, buy your kid a drum set.
Totally. Yeah.
Because that's all I did when I was young, man. I'd come home from school, and I'd play till my hands were bleeding.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Think about how lucky we were.
Yeah.
For that
middle school, I was very active in the middle school band.
Yeah.
When I got to high school, I had other intentions.
Yeah, sure.
And I wanted to play rock and roll, and there was girls and
Yep.
But
pretty much how.
So I didn't do any music in high school except for my rock.
Yeah,
and roll
but those
bands.
magic, like I remember, it was like three or four summers or whatever. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Like my parents they had a curfew where they would tell me I couldn't play before 10 a.m. and I couldn't play after 8.
I had the same.
And they would flick
the lights on and off.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Like trying
That's enough.
That's enough. Yeah.
That's what you heard too.
Oh God.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, I had my record player. I remember just trying to figure out Budokan, and I would just be playing along to the record. The lights would flick, and I would go, "Damn!" Take the needle off the record at 10 a.m. next day. Put the needle right back on the record where I was. Just try and figure it out.
That's something to talk about too. Is the way we had to learn songs was picking that needle up, right?
Yeah.
Look how easy the kids have it today.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we're seeing more and more young little kids that are kicking butt.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much, so many sources that they can learn from.
I always think about it like us. It was like growing up it was like you were on a desert island. Whatever washed ashore, you had to make something out of every little piece of it.
Yeah.
And I got most of it wrong. I remember, like, Vic was my drum teacher.
Yeah.
So I went to him when I was a little kid, and I could kind of play a little bit, but all he did was just like, no, it's not that at all. Like, he still teases me. He goes, you were sitting down and you did something, and he was like my source, my one source of information, and like he would come to my house, and I just had a pile of records, and I would just be like, boom, what's he doing? What's that? And Vic would be like, oh, okay, that's this. And it was just
wow.
That. But without him,
right,
the hell would I would have known?
Right.
I listened to the homespun record just trying to understand what I thought it was, or what the sounds were, or what,
Vic was great. I remember he was with Patty Graham Band.
Okay.
Who I think, my old road manager and sound tech, Gordy Gould, used to run front of house for them. And Vic was just an incredible drummer.
Yeah, right.
He did a lot of Fleetwood Mac stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was in Nappy Brown when he was my drum teacher.
Yeah.
We went and saw him at H.L. Wilford's once. I couldn't
Upstairs.
believe it. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, my drum teacher's a rock star. It was great.
H.L. Wilford's.
Yeah, so funny.
Right?
Yep.
A good friend of mine, George Wilson, was very good friends of Vic's as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he played in Nappy Brown as well. He played with George Carney, Art Carney's son.
Okay.
Paul Carney Band.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Who was a phenomenal honky-tonk.
Oh, yeah?
Crazy piano player like Terry Adams from
Yeah.
barbecue, that kind of player.
Wild.
And, yeah.
Killer. We're getting close.
Sure.
The wrap-up questions that maybe cover whatever.
I'm ready.
Desert Island albums, like 5 albums that you can't live without, that would help to explain who you are.
Nighthawks at the Diner.
Okay, sure.
Magic Time by Van Morrison.
Oh.
The Police album with Zenyatta Mandata.
Sure. That was an album.
I know it's an album. The Yellow and Red album.
Yeah, sure.
Santana Abraxas.
Okay.
Buddy Rich, Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
Oh, wow. Cool.
How many is that?
You keep going. Doesn't only have to be 5.
That's pretty close, though.
Yeah.
Those are all just phenomenal albums.
Yeah.
And Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Yeah, right, because you
I'm telling you. I still put it on, and it drives people crazy when I put it on in my house. But those songs are so cool.
Great stuff.
And it's Hal Blaine.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
And, Waiting for Columbus.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. That would do it.
Yeah.
That would definitely do it.
I could survive on those.
Yeah. It sounds about right.
Yeah.
Desert Island food.
Steamers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a seafood nut.
Okay.
Just had them for my birthday. They were phenomenal.
Wow. Where'd you go?
No, I cook them at home.
Oh.
I don't like eating steamers outside. That's messy and stuff.
I see.
Lobster is the same way. I like to eat it at home.
Wow. Okay. Where no one can observe my technique.
Yeah, I'm just going to get messy here.
Wow.
But yeah, I just could live on seafood.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Talenti, Pacific Coast pistachio.
Oh, wow. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's
really?
Yeah, it's not ice cream. It's Talenti.
What do you do? Is it a dessert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some kind of, all right, I'll have to check it out.
I don't get it often. I'm not allowed to have it too often.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Was there a concert or show that you've seen that completely changed your whole thing in one shot?
Oh, that's a tough one, John.
Or, a few that stand out.
I have one fantastic story from high school, and like 6 of us piled into a station wagon and went to New Haven Coliseum to see Yes.
Oh, sure.
And we definitely adjusted our minds a little bit, and we all saw a different concert. We really did.
Really?
We just talked about it. A couple of us were together.
Oh, really?
Not too long ago.
You just all remember different things?
Yeah. But it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I bet.
It really was.
I
love going to shows, but I like going to smaller shows nowadays.
Yeah, sure.
Infinity in Hartford.
Yeah.
I'll give them a plug. It's just a phenomenal venue. It sounds
Killer.
fantastic in there.
Yep.
Johnny Larson takes care of me.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Jay used to as well.
Sure. Yep.
But
It's wild.
That's what I got.
I don't know if I should. You tell me. I don't know if this is a new thing because we were talking about this the other day. Because I really don't. I don't want this to be negative. I don't want to be Mr. Positive, but I don't want to dwell on the. But we were having this conversation the other night. Worst gig you ever played, and I don't remember if you gave an answer. Worst gig, because musicians, we love to piss and moan. I just think it would be, and the entertainment value would be funny if I had musicians describe their worst gig.
I have to probably say that there was a couple with Bert that were like, okay, so no, I remember we were playing a Trinity. We were told it was a frat party.
Sure.
And I showed up in my overalls and a white tank top, and my hair was long, and I was unkempt, I guess you could say. And little did Bert know, but it was a formal.
Oh no.
It was a formal. They were in tuxes.
Oh boy.
And I was like, Bert, did you forget that detail?
Oh boy.
But it wasn't a bad gig.
Oh.
But it was just like.
And you were just, I wanted to hide.
Yeah.
And he wasn't dressed formally either.
Never.
Yeah, right, exactly. The Miles Davis T-shirt or whatever the one thing is. I wear the same shirts too. I have 3 shirts. Everyone probably already. Oh, he's wearing the Iceland one. Or whatever.
Trust me, I'm not saying anything bad about Bert.
No. Well, that's what I mean. That's I gotta be careful because I don't want it to turn into a
no.
But we all just have gigs that were a disaster.
Yeah. I not one really stands out wicked though. I'll tell you that. I know in my whole Hothead Slater career, I was only late for one gig. One, and we were on a 4-nighter at David's, and it was the 3rd night.
Wow.
And I slept all day, and I slept. Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
But I slept all day, and I slept too long.
Oh no.
With no alarm, and I woke up, and I was like, I got like a half an hour to get my together and get to the gig. Oh, and they were standing on the stage.
Oh God. Yeah.
Of course, there's no cell phones back there, so there's not like any conversation going on.
Right. You could have been dead. Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, they were on the stage with like scowling at me. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh no. I know. Cynthia, we used to get fined if you were late. And it worked, but that was her thing. And she fined herself.
It's tough, huh?
That might be one of her things, but I remember that was the thing was like, I forget what it was, but it was like you had to be there, a half an hour before the hit or whatever it was, 20 minutes or 15 minutes. But
well, I think I learned.
Which is fair enough. I mean.
Absolutely. I think when you're in a band at a young age too, it gives you a sense of you have to be there on time because there's all those other guys that are dependent on you. And if one person's late, everybody's really late.
Right. Yeah, and can you imagine like us being rock and roll jerk offs? It's like you do realize when you have a real job, you have to be there on time. With, oh man, they find me because it's like, well, yeah, man, like it's just so funny. And then we were pissed. Oh man, you would find me because I'm. It's like, yeah, wait till you have to enter the world someday. God forbid.
Well, actually,
like your boss is going to go, oh, I'm sorry, you slept late. No biggie. Just don't let it happen.
No, my boss is pretty cool. I've had a 30.
My boss is terrible.
I've had a 30-year career.
Hey,
31 now. Building exhibits and displays for trade shows. 5 years at another place, and but it's a totally different industry. But I've held that job.
Hey, that's cool.
My dad always told me, if you want to be a musician, that's fine, but you really should have something to back yourself up on.
He wasn't wrong.
I can't teach like you. You're very fortunate to be able to teach and have a boss like that guy over there that puts up with you.
Tell me about it. I don't know.
He doesn't talk all that well about you.
That's fine. I don't care. Yeah. No, it's true. No, I don't know, whatever. I didn't know how to teach. Okay, let me figure it out. Someone's going to pay me. I'll figure it out.
But you can read.
I can. Vic taught me.
Yeah.
I learned in 5th grade, and then Vic kind of punched it up.
I learned way back then, too, and then just totally drifted away from it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how it happened. I'm glad it stuck with me, but because whatever. I think it does help, but obviously you don't need to read to be able to play.
No, you need an ear.
Yeah, both. Yeah, definitely.
And to play with other musicians, you need bad ears.
Whole other thing, yeah.
Absolutely. If you're not listening to what's going on stage and just playing your own thing, you're not going to be good.
Nope. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, you did it.
I did.
We made it.
We did.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate
I thought
it
it was
too.
important that you with your.
And I'm very impressed by you thinking that it was important to have me here.
Well, well, whatever. I mean, it's true. I mean,
we still like each other.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. Well, put it this way.
Dunk.
It's it's the same as it always is. No, I mean,
no, it's been fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm glad you did it.
Thank you.
I told you.
I'm glad I did too.
I told you it would be fun.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
So the people are going to be happy to see you on here.
Awesome
that you were on here. Doug LaChapelle was here.
Yeah.
He was here. We got you.
Yeah, you did.
Gotcha. Oh no, I forgot to. Can you imagine? I forgot to record the whole thing. Can you imagine?
Perfect. I'll come back tomorrow.
Perfect.
No, let's just do it again.
All right, now he can't. Now he doesn't want to leave. This is amazing. This is beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, pull a Yui, park in the street in front of the. Hey, we sell vinyl now. You see it? We got
Awesome.
vinyl downstairs. Yeah, check it out.
Can I say one more thing real
Yes,
quick?
sir. Yes.
Did I tell you I was going to be a grandfather?
No.
In 2 months.
2 months.
Peace, Erica.
Doug LaChapelle. Going to be a grandfather. That's beautiful. Wow. It just all keeps rolling. That's wild. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Have your own show here in our beautiful studio. Dave will tell you how. Doug LaChapelle, thank you very much.
Thank you, too.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, kids, drive safe. Be careful. That is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.